to introduce him. God bless him and you.
Wow.
Okay, sit down.
I was wondering who he was talking about, because when I turn on the media, I know we're the most horrible people in the whole wide world. So I was looking around to see who he could have been speaking of. Thank you very much, Senator. What an incredible introduction. I joke, I've been in politics for about 2.5 weeks now, and you never want to speak after someone like that who's been doing this for a little while. So when we drain the swamp, we're keeping him, okay? Thank you, Senator Hatch. It's an honor to have that kind of introduction, and it's an honor to be able to get to know him over the last few months as we've entered this process. It's been amazing, and when I can get up to a crowd like this, I'm not even a candidate.
We love you, Don!
Not yet.
And I'm able to talk to a group like this. It's truly humbling. It's been amazing. It's been an amazing 18 months to be able to go around the country and see people who are so excited for actual change, for real change. People who are sick of being let down by the people in the swamp that have just made a career of getting themselves and their buddies really rich while the rest of the country really suffers.
Oh, yeah.
It's been amazing because you see it. And again, when I say it's humbling, it truly is, because you see that look in someone's eyes, at some little small airport in a town in the Rust Belt, or at the 7-Eleven, between speaking engagements and stops. So these aren't just people coming up to me who are saying, hey, I'm going to a Donald Trump Jr. rally, I'm a fan or a supporter, whatever it may be. These are people that you run into at random, and they're just coming up to me and saying, thank you for allowing your father to do this.
Right.
I look at them, I'm like, you must not know my father, because if you think I can allow him to do anything. But they mean it, and it's an incredible message, because they're so excited. They're sick and tired of being lied to. They're sick and tired of the false promises. They're sick and tired of someone in a far-off land living the American dream because we've sent it there. Because our politicians have done this time and time again. They've made these promises that they can't deliver on, and yet we keep accepting it. We just say, okay, 4 more years later, what's different with this batch? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that's what we're up against this time around. In a year of change, from day one, this election, it was about change. That's why Bernie Sanders did so well in so many of these states.
Yep.
Now, we know what happened with that. There's literally emails about it. They were handing Hillary Clinton the debate questions before the debates. What would happen anywhere else? If you were an athlete, if you were in the Olympics and you were cheating beforehand, you'd lose your medal. You know what's worse than some of these things happening? Is that so few people on the other side even care.
They don't.
And that's exactly what's wrong with what's going on in the system. We've gotten used to it. We've gotten tired. But you know what? This isn't a campaign anymore. This is actually a movement.
Yeah.
When I see my father speaking to 10, 15, 20, 25,000 people 2, 3, 4 times a day, guess what, guys? That hasn't happened in my lifetime. Right? That hasn't happened in my lifetime. That's a movement. Those are people who've been disaffected. I see it. Those same people that I'm talking about, that I run into at random, that are saying, Don, thank you. They're also saying, Don, I'm 25, I'm 35, I'm 45, I'm 55, up to 83. Think about this, up to 83. And I've never voted in my life.
Boom.
And they're saying, and we registered last week so we could vote for your father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You hear it once and you say, it's an anomaly. You hear it twice, you say, probably still. You hear it every day, day in and day out. Again, not places where they're going to hear me speak. Not places where I know, the majority of the people, some are probably there to yell at me, but most are there to hear me speak. You say, okay, these are random locations. These are people of all ethnicities, all backgrounds, not just the people the media would like you to believe are the only ones voting for Trump.
Yeah.
Sure. Men, women, young, old, Hispanics, African Americans, they've seen it. They knew both sides were going to fail them. The ones that never voted, they just, maybe they were right, but they knew neither side was going to do anything that really benefited them. So they said, we're going to sit at home. But now they see an opportunity for real change.
Yes, sir.
They see an opportunity to put someone in the White House who has the guts to take on the system.
Oh, yeah.
Let's say someone who left, I would say, a pretty good life. Right? He could do whatever he wanted at this point, right? I'd say it's a pretty good life. To get into this brutal process, and it is brutal, right? To fight against the most corrupt candidate in the history of the presidency. To fight against the cartel. Really on both sides. Because the establishment, many of the establishment on both sides, hey, they've gotten really comfortable. I get it. They're making great livings. They're making millions of dollars. Their buddies are getting all the good contracts. They're sitting there while the rest of the country suffers. They're afraid that he's going to do what he's going to do. And guess what, boys and girls?
He's doing it.
I've seen him always do what he says he's going to do. That's not a new phenomenon. I've been watching him do that for 40 years. Okay? I've been watching him create real jobs for 40 years. Not jobs like Hillary Clinton when she promises 200,000 jobs to New York. She comes in, she does her Senate thing, she leaves, minus 8,000. Right? What's going to be different about this time? Nothing. For those of you, because I know you're all going to bring at least 1,000 people each to the voting booth, right? If you have someone that's supporting her, ask them. Which policy of hers are they supporting? The public policy or the private policy? Which one? I'm curious. Because I know the Clintons have been said to be worth up to $250 million.
Crooks.
Doing what? What job have they created? What business have they created? A foundation? Guess what? If you're wondering which policy they're voting for, it's probably the one supported by the Wall Street backers, by the money. And that's probably in direct conflict with what a lot of those people who would be voting for her would like to see. Okay? Think about it. $250 million doing what? Selling American influence. Peddling influence at the expense of the American people. So again, we have the chance to stop that. We have a chance to send DC a message that we're not going to put up with it anymore. We have a chance to ask for and expect real accountability for a change. We see it. I laugh. Thank you. Keep going. It's okay. I don't mind. I see it day in and day out. The one I loved this week was her outrage about the FBI not turning over the new evidence that just came out. The outrage. Knowing full well that obviously the FBI can't hand over evidence during an investigation, so that's part of the lie. But the other part of the lie is that she doesn't talk about that. Hey, you had all of these things in your possession a few months ago, but you sent the server to Colorado to be bleached. They took hammers to their iPhones and Blackberries, and I don't mean that metaphorically. People are like, is that a metaphor? I go, no, they actually took hammers to prevent anyone from seeing these things. And now there's outrage. But that's the kind of hypocrisy we can no longer accept. What kind of message does it send? Not only to our children, okay? Not only to our children, but to the other politicians in DC, that we would allow and just say, that's just business as usual. What kind of message does it send? Say, hey, you can be corrupt. That's what my father wants to drain the swamp. That's why he wants to stop these high-level officials from then going and lobbying against American interests for countries and far-off lands that hate us. So I want to thank you all for being a part of this movement. Again, it's, I've seen it with my father, and for me, for him, it's easy. Before we started this, to be glib, to be laissez-faire about what's going on in the country, to sit back and say, hey, we got it pretty good, we got a great business, we got a great family. But now that we've seen those people around the country, and we've seen the hardship that they're going through, it changes you. It'd be impossible not to. It'd be hard to not be a human. It'd be hard to be a human and not have it affect you greatly. I saw that, it was interesting. I did an interview before this. And I was speaking with a guy, and they brought up a thing that happened last week when I was here. Like, we were following a car. We were going somewhere to a different stop, and the car in front of us broke down. It's a nice lady. They broke down. So I get out of the car, and I push the car.
That's
Running
right.
along the green. And someone videoed it. I didn't ask for credit. I didn't put it up. I didn't do anything. I pushed the car a couple hundred yards. We made sure she had a bottle of water and a cell phone that she could call to get help. We had to go to another campaign stop. And rather than someone put it up online, someone I guess mentioned it to her that it was me, and I'd have gotten back in the car already. And then she was taking pictures and asked if we could get a picture. So I did yes. Okay, sure. Someone posted it. The media sends people to find the person to find out if it's a publicity stunt. Because I would be incapable of doing something nice, right? But that's part of what we're up against.
Wow.
Right? If this was a fight where it's candidate versus candidate, policy versus policy, track record versus track record, this would have been over a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not. When you're up against the liberal media, 96% of whom donated to the other person's campaign. How can you be objective? You're making donations to the other campaign.
Yep.
When you're up against the Hollywood elite, when you're up against the political elite who are looking to protect their lives and the fact that they've gotten really rich. When you're up against even the Wall Street elite. Ironically, my father's the guy up against the Wall Street elite. They're all what? Guess what, guys? If they're all up against you, and they've all done really well over the last few years, well, that means you're fighting for the right people. You're fighting for the people that matter. It's the American people. The people who've been forgotten for so long. So that was just an interesting experience. It's relevant because it happened here a week ago. And I was like, man, that's where we've come. Someone is incapable of doing something. It had to be a PR stunt. It was, I've literally never been that insulted on the campaign trail in my life as I was at that moment, because it's like, man.
That's right.
Again, the whole experience, though, has been amazing because we have been able to get out there. We have been able to just meet these incredible people who have that hope in their eye that we can get someone in the White House who can break this up.
Yeah.
Part of that movement. I want to thank you all for being in the fight with us, because you're in there with me. This has been the same. You're in that foxhole with me, and it's an honor to be there with you guys. I mean, it's sort of, you're welcome. It is truly an honor to be in there with you. I can't tell you how much it does mean to me, because the support, the organic nature of what's going on here is incredible. Again, I don't think we see it again in our lifetimes, because I don't think we see someone from outside of the system who'd be willing to get in there and take it on. Knowing full well what comes with it, right? Knowing full well what comes with it when you're outside that system coming in. Knowing full well what happens when you go up against the machines on the other side, and that's all they are.
It's a
Machines of lies,
movement!
deceit. So, again, thank you so much for all of your support. Make sure to get all your friends out there. Make sure to get all your friends out. Because it's not just for us. It's not just for us. It's for little people like that, right? It's for the next generation. For me, as the father of 5 young kids. A 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. Yes, I heard that. I know how that happens now, so my brother bought me a TV, got a new hobby, we're all good, okay? But for us, it's about that. It's about making sure the American dream is alive and well for that generation. If we allow this nonsense to continue, it won't be. It won't be. So let's keep fighting. We're going to win on Tuesday.